Hello Earth Tribe, welcome back to my channel, Sky Above, Earth Below. This is Renee, and you're watching a timeless collective reading for the new moon in Cancer, June 28th, 2022. Although the moon is currently in the sign of Cancer, you do not need to have Cancer anywhere in your chart for this reading to apply to you. This reading is for all astrological signs collectively. So, if you are new to working with the lunar cycles and you'd like to know more about manifesting with the moon, just know that the energies are a powerful and practical way to create your desired life. The energies of the new and full moons, as well as the waxing and waning phases, can be harnessed to help you manifest your goals and dreams, as well as to release things that are no longer resonant with your highest good. So at the new moon, we recognize the beginning of a lunar cycle, and that makes it a particularly powerful time for setting new intentions. You can write, say, or visualize your intentions, use them in ritual or spell work, or set them in any number of ways that feels meaningful to you. There is a lot online already about manifesting with the lunar cycles, so I encourage you to find a way to connect with the moon in simple or elaborate ways, but particularly in a way that allows you to do so regularly. I personally love manifesting with the moon to incorporate meaning and rhythm and ritual into my life. If you'd like to continue following the lunar cycles, please join me here every new and full moons for a collective energy check. You can also view my playlist of lunar cycle readings whenever you wish, as they are all timeless. So, what do we have to look forward to for this new moon in Cancer? What energy is the new moon bringing to the collective? That is what we're asking today. Up next is a meditative shuffle and the reading to follow. You can watch both or navigate as you wish using the timestamps below. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you at your reading. Hello everyone, welcome to this reading. So we're not going to do the meditative shuffle today because several things have happened today to get in the way of this reading, and so it tells me that something needs to come out and something doesn't want it to come out. So I'm just going to shuffle live and see what comes out, and we're just gonna get it done. All right, so collective, we're looking at the new moon in Cancer here. What energy is this bringing to the collective? What messages does the collective need to hear about this energy from the new moon in Cancer? All right. We're going to look at the overall energy. Messages for the collective for the new moon in Cancer. What is the overall energy? Thank you. The Seven Star Sisters, Birthing Creations, Tapestry of Life, Expression. Back of the deck energy. Your life is a canvas, artist, manifestation, creative accountability. It's a beautiful start. I'm getting the feeling the message didn't want to come out, and I'm getting the feeling of something about your potential. It feels like there are people around you, collective, that are not wanting you to see your potential, not wanting you to act upon your potential. Not wanting you to know your potential. Okay, I'll take that if it flies out. What are the messages for the collective for this new moon in Cancer? What do they need to know? collective need to know for this new moon in Cancer? What do we need to know, Spirit, for the new moon in Cancer? Thank you. All right. You're moving on to find your peace. Moving on from something to bring yourself peace. What else do we need to know? What else do we need to know? Thank you. Yeah, so, okay, with the Five of Cups energy, what I'm getting from this is, you see how she's tipping this this bowl over, this cup over herself? I think it's funny. So I'm getting, collective, that this energy that you're walking away from, you know, you're ready to go. You're moving on. You've decided to go. You've decided you're wanting your peace. You're following your guides. You know, there may be some sadness, some residual sadness, but I'm not getting that it's more just disappointment, okay? Disappointment. I feel like you've moved on a bit from the sadness. You've processed a lot already, because you've already been through a lot of the chaos, right? You're moving towards smoother waters. And the tipping over of the cup to me feels like it's like you're bored and you're kind of doing it for fun. It's almost like there's somewhat of a stagnant energy, almost like you haven't quite reached the shore of the new destination, and yet you're in between worlds, sort of. And so you're just sort of tipping over the last cups just to kind of empty out your vessel. Almost like just getting that residual energy. I just saw the World card. Getting that residual, like, low vibe energy kind of out. Tipping it over. Just releasing it. You're birthing something new. That's here with the birthing creations. There could be here something specific with a sisterhood for some of you, perhaps many of you, but regardless, there is some sort of a, whatever you're creating, it is weaving. It's like part of a new cloth, almost. It's like you're no longer part of the old cloth. You're actually weaving a new cloth. And within this cloth is new people, new experiences, like a whole new life, and a whole new expression of yourself. I'm getting that these are different aspects of yourself, and you're finding that you don't have to be one specific way. You don't have to be the way that everyone thought you were, or the way that you thought you were, or the way you thought you had to be, right? You're realizing within your creative abilities that you have many attributes. You have many, you have many aspects of yourself that are coming forth as you're getting to branch out, get to know yourself. You have time for yourself to some degree, right? You're leaving an old situation behind, to come into a new situation. So your new way of being is a multitude of expressions, because you're finding that it's okay. You're wanting to express all these different aspects of yourself that either you haven't felt comfortable doing or you just didn't realize about yourself until now. Okay, so that's what I'm getting so far. Let's see if we can pull a couple more cards. 2 more cards, please, Spirit. There we go. Yeah. Definitely with the High Priestess, I'm getting High Priestess energy here with this very ethereal card with the different aspects of yourself. Obviously this is the part where you know so much about yourself because you've become intuitive. And not that you weren't before, but what I'm saying is that your intuitive nature is really, really a big part of this new path that you're on. This new life that you're embodying involves being completely in touch with your intuition, with your High Priestess energy. Okay, you're drawing your knowledge, you're drawing your decisions, you're leading from your heart and your intuition. You don't do anything without consulting your intuition, and it's not even that you're like, okay, stop and let me think about my intuition. No, this isn't something that comes natural to you. This is something that just happens automatically. One more card, please, Spirit. Thank you. Wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Bottom of the deck. Page of Pentacles. So you are building something. You're starting something new. I'm getting the feeling that you've already been on this path for a while. It's just that it might be a path somewhat of stops and starts. And because you're discovering so much about yourself, right? You're trying to kind of harness and figure out which way to take things. And there is this liminal space that I'm picking up on, that you're not quite to the shore, you're not quite to where you're going yet. And so there is sort of almost a 2 of Pentacles energy where it's you're still balancing a little bit of the old with the new, but also in the discovering of all the different ways you can be creative within yourself and your expression, within a project or a job or a career or a business that you're trying to start, things that you're wanting to manifest here with the Magician. Your energy is like, it's kind of off the charts here with the High Priestess and the Magician, right? Whatever you put your mind to, you're going to do it. Not because of your will, but because it's in you to do it. It's like your natural abilities are, you're going to be successful at this. Okay? Whatever it is that it says here, your life is a canvas, artist, manifestation, creative accountability. So I'm interested here in this creative accountability, right? Because we are co-creators. And once we realize that, there is a sense of obligation to fulfill our own destinies, to fulfill our own purpose, to fulfill our own heart. So if we're ignoring these parts of ourselves, that accountability, that's where the accountability comes in, because we're literally denying ourselves. And as co-creators, we are endpoints to the expression of source divinity, right? We are parts of God. We are part of source energy in earthly expression. So if we aren't fulfilling our missions here, we aren't doing what we came here to do. So it's important for us each to find what it is our mission entails. And that is here, right here, where we look and we discover these different aspects of ourselves, where we give ourselves permission to express ourselves, no matter what other people think or say, no matter what friends, family, coworkers want us to do, no matter what the society feels that we are limited by or should be limited by. It really doesn't matter, right? Because we are sovereign, energetic beings. Our spirit comes to this earth on its own, individually, as a sovereign spirit. And when we leave this earth, we leave as a sovereign spirit. This world here on the earthly plane is an illusion that keeps us trapped, feeling like we have only so many options, so many ways to express ourselves, so many ways to be, because we are given this box to live in and these expectations to thrive in. And that's meant to be a joke. So, right? How can you thrive by somebody else's expectations? You can't. You need to have your own expectations for yourself, and those expectations can't be ruled by something that you were programmed with in early life or even later in life, right? Once we see ourselves as spiritual beings having a human experience, that's when the paradigm shift takes place. At least that's when it can take place. That's not the only way it takes place, but it often, that's a big paradigm shift for a person to take on, to understand, to contemplate, to consider, and then let alone believe, right? Because it really is challenging to a lot of people to feel like when this world is so physical and so real, that we are anything but physical. But, those of you who are on the spiritual path, those of you who've had spiritually significant experiences, near-death experiences, those of you who just have a deep faith, a deep knowing, you have been really in touch with your intuition, perhaps all your life. Many of you have likely, because of the High Priestess and the Magician energy here, many of you likely had intuitive or spiritual gifts at a young age. So taking in that concept of being a spiritual being in a human body, here as an endpoint of source energy, here as a spirit to be an expression of God or source or the creator, however you want to put it. We are points of energy here to self-express. So this creative accountability comes into play when we're not following our own mission, our own life purpose. So while you are in this liminal space where you're tipping over your cup and just kind of playing with it and just sort of like, what can I do here while I'm kind of emptying out the old paradigm? I'm emptying out the old scripts that are in my head so that I can come into a greater sense of understanding, an expanded consciousness. Out with the old so that we can bring in something new. You can take this time to embrace all of these aspects of yourself and not hold yourself back from expressing yourself in any of those ways. I'm going to pull some, let's see here. Yeah, let's start with these. I've got a couple of moon decks. What does the moon have to say? This is the new moon in Cancer. What else do we need to know? Thank you. Yeah. Beginnings. New moon. Number 2 card, okay? Also the gratitude. Last quarter moon, number 23. Let me get some moonology as well. Do we need to know about this new moon in Cancer? What is the energy from this new moon in Cancer for the collective? Thank you. Work through your fears. New moon in Scorpio. Okay, new moon in water sign. What else? One more, please. Thank you. All right, we'll take 2. Wow. New moon in Scorpio and full moon in Scorpio. Okay. Work through your fears, and it's time to release negativity. Okay, and I'm going to put this one here. Full moon, surrender to the divine. Back of the deck, the energy is gaining momentum. So whatever you're working on, keep going. The energy is gaining momentum. Here we have the gratitude card is a number 23, breaking down to a 5, right below the 5 of Cup energy. So I feel like, this kind of stagnant energy where you're just sort of waiting for things to change. You're just, not that you're waiting for things to change, but you're at the end point of where you're releasing. You're just kind of releasing old or outdated thought patterns that just aren't working for you anymore, things that you no longer want to subscribe to or believe anymore, just, different way of being. You're releasing these old ways of thinking or talking about to yourself. And here with the 2 5s, that's a lot of change. And the change can happen in a more graceful way here with gratitude. So the last quarter moon has to do with that part of the moon cycle where we are almost done birthing our manifestations, birthing our creations. And so in that last quarter phase of the moon cycle, we've seen things come to manifestation in the sense that we see them evolving, they're coming into our physical reality. And so we have, reason to be grateful. So this card here is talking about reminding us to have a sense of gratitude for the things that we are birthing, okay? For the things that are bringing us into this new beginning, into this 6 of Swords. The 6 of Swords, in this deck especially, it looks really somber and everything, but I love the 6 of Swords energy because it's always positive. You're moving away from something chaotic and tumultuous into something that is, more in alignment with yourself, more calm, in the direction you want to be going. So I love that the new moon in the beginnings card is below the 6 of Swords. Also, number 6 is a number of balance. It's a number of reciprocity, and it's above the number 2, which also has to deal with balance, okay? Over here we have work through your fears, and it's time to release negativity. So I'm getting here that this is more of this residual energy. I feel like this is the 5 of Cups stuff that you're releasing. I feel like because you're identifying so much with the different aspects of yourself likely, light and shadow aspects of yourself. You are and you have been working through your fears already. You know that it's time to release negativity. It's just sort of that last straw. It's the last part of your journey that you're coming through to the end. And I don't feel like this is something you don't already know. I feel like this is something you know that you're actively working on. Because with the High Priestess and the Magician, I mean, in order to be in this energy, you have to have already practiced with this. And so I feel like, just to keep going with what you're doing, because the energy is building momentum. And whatever it is that you are releasing, whatever the fears are, surrender it. Surrender it to the divine. Just give it. I mean, literally, just give it to them and trust. And just understand that we don't have control over everything. And so we want to be able to do the things within our control and release what isn't in our control. And that way, we are co-creating. We are allowing for that reciprocity with the universe. If we are, trying to control everything, that doesn't put us in a receptive state. So our blessings, our manifestations, our goals, they're not going to come in without some kind of resistance. And even then, if they come in at all, right? Because with resistance, that's not the recipe for manifestation. So the guidance here is to surrender your fears. And I would say at the next full moon would be a really great time. That's a good time for release. So if there's any residual, set your new intentions here at the new moon. You can set your intentions to release them, whatever it is, your fears. You can also set intentions, right, at the new moon for anything new that you're wanting to manifest here with your High Priestess and Magician card, with your Birthing Creations card, getting to the end of wherever you're heading with your move. Some of you could be actually moving. I feel you're being assisted with this, okay? This feels like you're being supported here by an ancestor. Yeah. What else am I getting here? Whatever it is.
Love you.
I love you. So wherever you're headed, from whatever old phase to the new phase, this is going to be a completely new life, right? I was kind of mentioning that earlier with you figuring out all the different beautiful aspects of yourself. You're growing into a completely new person. And when you finally get to where you're going, and you're almost there, this is going to be a portal that you're walking through. And so once you walk through it, it's a completely new life, something you've never experienced before. It's full of life and beauty and uncertainty, but happiness, blue skies, a calm, peaceful existence. And that only makes sense, right? Because when you are aligned with yourself, with your higher self, right? When you are aware of who you are, when you acknowledge yourself as a spiritual being, when you use all the beauty that's within you to create beauty in the world, that's only going to reflect outward, right? Because it's something coming from within you, and so it's going to be showing on your outside world. So, okay, keep working on whatever it is that you're working on, your project, your new life, your manifestations, whatever they are, keep working on them. Keep going, because that energy is gaining momentum. It's going to bring you nourishment. The 7 card. It's going to bring you spiritual nourishment. Okay? Okay, so like I said, this message had some roadblocks coming out, and but you know, I'm persistent. So I got the message out to you, and if there's any, you know, roadblocks in your life that wanted to keep you from getting this message, just know, right, that any kind of energies that would prevent you from understanding more about yourself, from wanting you to move on, from wanting you to grow, from wanting you to manifest, from wanting you to be yourself, from wanting you to recognize yourself as a spiritual being, from wanting you to recognize your power, from wanting you to stay in fear, like any of that crap, right? If you're experiencing any of that, just know that you are never cut off from your source energy. There might be times when you feel that other people's energy might be interfering, especially if you are concerned about evil eye or jealousy or envy from other people, people throwing shade, whatever. You know, your energy is yours. They can't take your energy. Your energy, your spirit, belongs to Source. It does not belong to them. Period. So, if you feel cut off from your own energy, this is really just about you getting back into alignment, understanding what is illusion, that anybody who could attempt to block your energy or interfere with your energy, that's a lie. It's an illusion. So, more power to you, right? Because you are a spiritual badass with your high priestess and magician energy and your ability to manifest like nothing else, okay? You've already done this before. You're moving on. You're heading in the right direction. You have new beginnings and a new portal to walk through. Okay? You have a sense of gratitude. And if you don't, just reminding you, right? Just get back into that attitude of gratitude. Just sometimes we get off course, right? I know you have a sense of gratitude. But sometimes we forget, right? And those little things, like just having that sense of gratitude, can bring you back to your heart, bring you back to alignment, bring you back to your energy, your direct connection to your higher self and to source energy. Okay? Okay. My beautiful Earth Tribe, that is your reading. If this resonated, I'd love to know in the comments. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to support my channel, and hit the bell if you'd like to be notified of my future videos. If you'd like to book a reading with me, my information is in the description box below, as well as links to donate and to the decks I used in this reading. May the power of this new moon bring about all that is in your heart, and may you all have a beautiful day from wherever in the world you're watching. I'm sending you all grounding energy and love. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you at my next reading.